Very good morning to all of you. On behalf of Auditing and Assurance Standard Board of Institute of Chartered Accountant of India, I welcome you all in today's 125th CP program organized by AASB of ICI this year. Today's 125th CP program, and it is in the form of webinar. And today's topic is very important, that is the webinar on audit consideration while forming an opinion and reporting on financial statements. And in order to tackle this very important, relating to SA 700, 701, 705, 706, we are having with us our own chartered accountant from our own chartered accountant fraternity, C.A. Shiva Goyalji. So on behalf of AASB of ICI, I extend my warm welcome to you, sir, on this 125th CP program organized by AASB of ICI. So Honorable Chairman sir and Vice Chairman sir both are busy in some of the meeting. So I am starting this webinar, and before we start, it is my proud privilege to share with all of you the brief profile of our today's learned speaker, C.A. Shiva Goyalji. C.A. Shiva Goyal is a fellow chartered accountant by profession, a practicing chartered accountant of Rohtak and founder of SG Academy. He is NCS faculty of Institute of Chartered Accountant and giving deliberations at various branches of NIRC of ICI. He has given more than 200 sessions to newly qualified chartered accountants. He has also received various accolades from the reputed institutions. He has been researching on GST and custom for more than 5 years and providing training and consultancy services in the same occasions. Same across India. He has been a rank holder of university level, a young researcher. Shiva Goyalji has set an example to youth profession and has yet to benchmark for having deep knowledge of his core subject. He has been specially invited as a trainer by Haryana GST department on the topic GST reforms, including recent amendments, a training organized for the senior officials of the GST department. He has deliberated more than 100 sessions on GST and customs at various respective forums and various branches of ICA. He is a co-author in the Handbook of GST Impact on Real Estate Sector published by the ITRAA. He has received Young Entrepreneur Award 2022 from Indian Achievers Forum and recently awarded on Best GST and Custom Consultant of Year by Star International MSME Forum. His unique approach to make positive shift in mindset of students aspiring for the success make him a dynamic and enthusiastic speaker. He is a keynote speaker in Career Setup workshop organized by newly qualified chartered accountant. He is a special invitee as a guest speaker in various personality development courses organized by university level also. He has been a jury member to the inter-school debate competition. He has got brilliant performance award in National Academy Talent Search exam at senior level. He is also providing virtual CFO services to various companies pan-India. He has been awarded a meditation trainer by the Rohtak branch of Institute of Chartered Accountant of India, NIRC of Institute of Chartered Accountant of India on International Yoga Day 2019. He's a keynote speaker of the training of the advocates on the topic how to handle GST litigations invited by the Uttar Pradesh Tax Bar Association and Madhya Pradesh Tax Bar Association. He is indeed a young and dynamic chartered accountant on a mission to help professions in exploring various unspecialized areas and specialized areas of consultancy and become an expert of some. So without wasting much more time, list is very vast, still very big to introduce him. So without wasting much time, I request Shivaji to please start his deliberation on SS 700 and 701. So over to C.A. Shiva Goyalji for your various expertise on these two topics. Over to Shivaji, please.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for the warm introduction. And today is a special count for the webinar being organized by the ASB. It is 125th webinar. So congratulations to the whole committee and whole the team of ASB who has been doing much efforts to bring awareness and enlightenment among the members on the standards on auditing, which are very, very important. As an auditor, we must know about how do we do the audit, how do we do the documentation, and the very important part then arise that how to prepare an audit report, how to draft an audit report, how to form an opinion on the financial statements. It's very, very important. So without taking much time, I would like to right away share my screen and start the today's topic, that is audit reports and the audit consideration while forming an opinion on the financial statements. So may I start, sir, with your due permission?
Yes, sir, kindly, sir, kindly. Screen is visible, sir. Please, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So today I will be talking on majorly overview of 4 standards on auditing, which together forms an opinion on the financial statements, wherein SS 700 talks about the opinion on the financial statements, which will be unqualified opinion. 701, it's a new standard that has been introduced by the institute itself on the key audit matters in the standards of auditing list. It was not previously. 705, it talks about the modified opinion, and 706 talks about the other matter paragraph and the EOM emphasis of meta paragraph in the financial statement. So I will be talking about much about 700 today, because of the 2 hours allotted, we will be covering much of the standard on auditing 700 today, and I would be giving a brief overview on the 701, 705, and 706, so as to make you understand that how to form a full audit report. And I will show you the practical audit report also, how these standards are helping auditors to prepare an audit report, to draft an audit report in accordance with these standards on auditing. Very, very important standard, very, very practical standard. And I hope that all the viewers who are viewing this webinar will enjoy a lot during the webinar, in the sense it's not a kind of theoretical topic, but I would try to make it interesting in the form of examples, practical audit reports, and some of the MCQs that I would take on my own. Yeah. So we are starting with the standard on auditing and its background. I've already told that all these standards, one more important thing is all these standards have been revised. 706, 700, just a minute, let me take a pen. As a standard forming an opinion, these are revised standards. There was a need of the hour to revise these standards, because auditors should know that what is the specific details that auditors should put into the audit report, because there are a lot of stakeholders involved therein who has invested the money, and they read the auditor's report. So they must have certain valuable information from the auditor's report, so that they can make certain decisions that are helpful to them in their maybe investing decisions, or one if wants to purchase or sales, or some of the kind of creditor debtor relationship with the company. So they may see like what is the audit report, and actually it is going to help the various stakeholders. So SS 700, 705, 706 has been revised recently, and this is the new standard on auditing 701, which talks about the key audit meta paragraph in the independent auditors report. It's one of the very important paragraph, but I hope that we'll be covering more focusing on the SS 700, which talks about forming an opinion and reporting on the financial statement. And I will give a brief overview on this 701, 5, and 6, so as to show you that how in total an audit report is prepared or drafted, and how an opinion is formed by the auditor per se after auditing the financial statements. So we know that audit report of a top listed company is one and same. So there are a lot of scams also in the past. So the reporting standards have been revised in line with the changes made in IFAC, and recently these were late adopted in 2016 by the in the Europe, and later on in all the countries these were adopted. So basically users of financial statements are today more aware, and they want more financial information, and it was the need of the hour to have this revision of the standards, because of the lot of scams that have taken place in the recent past. So the revised auditing standard are applicable on or before the financial statements. You will see after 1st April 2018. So practically, if I talk about financial year 18-19 was the first year जिसमें कि all the auditors were adopting the revised standards on auditing 700, 705, and 706. So we start finally with our today's first standard on auditing, that is SS 700 revised, forming an opinion and reporting on financial statement. So the forming an opinion and forming an opinion on the financial statements in the auditor's report, first it talks about the contents of the audit report, starting from the title, the addressee, the auditor's opinion, how you base your opinion. So basis for opinion paragraph. I would be talking about each and every this line item or the section which SS700 talks about: the title, addressee, auditor's opinion, basis for opinion, going concern, key audit matters, and other information wherever it is applicable. So we'll be talking on each of the this section very, very positively and very in detail, so as to learn that whenever you are drafting an audit report, then it has to be in a sequence that has been prescribed in the standard itself. It is not so that you use the title after, let's say, basis for opinion. No, there is a complete sequence of the auditor's report, and this sequence has to be followed by an auditor as per standard on auditing 700 revised. So let us move further. So there are certain headings also in the audit report as per SS standard, which states that what is the responsibility of the management for the financial statement. This will be separately disclosed in the auditor's report. What are the auditor's responsibility? We have what are the management responsibility? What is the auditor's responsibility, which has been given in the standard itself. Each and every auditor has to give the same in the audit report itself. Apart from that report on the other legal and regulatory requirement, then signature of the auditor, place of signature, and date of auditor's report are the main contents of the audit report as per standard on auditing 700. So basically, if I talk about the change, what change has been there in the prior revision to the SS standard and post revision of this SS standard, then I've made a comparison of the both. So you can see there was title. Title is always the independent auditor's report. The title is same in the pre also, in the post also. Addressee, basically the address is to the members of so and so limited company. So it is the addresses to whom the audit report is being addressed. So it will be as per the engagement terms. Different audit reports may have different engagement terms, and it may be possible that it is the addressing may be different. But as a general, if I talk about the statutory audit report, then or independent auditor's report, then it is always to the members of so and so limited company. And report is on the financial statement, but in the revised standard on auditing, it is written that report on the audit of financial statements, report on the audit of financial statements. See, the basis of opinion paragraph has been given a separate section, like on what basis auditors has formed his opinion. You have to give explanation in the basis for the opinion paragraph. And then EOM paragraph, EOM is the other matter paragraph, and the emphasis of matter paragraph that I will discuss in SS 706, जो कि हम अभी स्टैंडर्ड के बाद जब मैं ओवरव्यू दूंगा तो मैं आपको बताऊंगा कि ईओएम पैराग्राफ में आप क्या क्या कंटेंट्स को इंक्लूड करके चलते हैं. देन की ऑडिट मैटर्स भी एक नया सेक्शन है, जस्ट मार्केट. ये डील होगा आपका SS 701 में, जो कि इन डिटेल मैनर आगे जब भी कभी वेबिनार होगा तो उसमें आपको इन डिटेल मैनर डिस्कस किया जाएगा. इट इज आउटराइटली दी न्यू सेक्शन दैट हैज बीन introduced in the auditor's report. Then management responsibility and auditor's responsibility were given different paragraphs in the previous standard on auditing before the revision also, but now the term is responsibility of the management and those charged with governance for the financial statement. So the word TCWG has also been included in the heading responsibility for the management. So it's a change in the SS 700 revised. And apart from that, auditor's responsibility has been given extension, like what are the auditor's responsibility for the audit of financial statements. Then other matter paragraph is being given a different section. Then report on the other legal regulatory requirements. There will be a separate subtitle. Then signature, place, and date. Earlier also there were these were the same signature, place and date, and now it is also the same. So we will understand about like how to form an auditor's report. But before that, I will show you the practical auditor's report where all these contents are placed in sequence, and I would take a minute to show you as of now only, to show you like what are the different contents of the audit report and how it is being used practically. So we will see a brief look on the DLF auditors report, and I hope that members can see that. See, so we had understood that there are sequence to the audit report in the as per SS700 revised. So the first was the title. So you see here the title is independent auditors report. So it is said that they have mentioned the title as per the SS700. Then the second component was title and then addressee, to whom it is addressed. So it is addressing to the members of DLF Limited. Then there has to be heading, so or the title. So title is report on the audit of standalone Ind AS financial statement. So report on the audit of the financial statement. This is the title given by the SS700 revised. अभी मैं सिर्फ हेडिंग्स की बात कर रहा हूं. आई एम जस्ट टॉकिंग ऑफ द हेडिंग्स एज ऑफ नाउ, बट I am going to discuss now each and every section in much detail. But let us first understand each section which we are studying, and let me give a brief illustration of the same. And when it is linked, we will close the topic. Then we'll come to the next topic. This is my strategy to take this VCM. Okay. Then the next paragraph is on opinion. Like what is the opinion of the auditor? मैं जब opinion I will share in detail, then I will let you know then how the opinion is to be formed and what would be the exact wordings of the opinion. Then the next heading was basis for opinion. So you see in the DLF report there is a section basis for opinion is there. Then paragraph is there. So the auditors of the DLF has well mentioned the emphasis of meta paragraph as per SS 706. Then key audit meta paragraph as per 701. Then again this is key audit meta paragraph that is going on. Then you can see after key audit meta paragraph there was a next section or the heading on the information other than financial statements and auditors report therein. Then there was responsibility of the management and those charged with governance. So you see here the heading of the DLF auditors, independent auditors report specifies the heading as it is, which have been mentioned in the standard itself. So responsibility of the management and those charged with governance for the standalone Ind AS financial statement, it is given there. Then what was the next heading? Just recall auditor's responsibility for the audit of financial statement. So this is mentioned there. Then other matter paragraph was the one requirement of the auditor's report. Report on the other legal regulatory requirement was the next section to be reported upon by the auditors. And then you can see the date, the signature, date and place. This is well mentioned in the auditor's report. And then there are the annexes to the audit report. But you see in principle, the main audit report has the exact sequence that has been studied by us, that has been looked by us in the PPT itself. So you see, you can resonate that the sequence has to be followed to the toe, and auditors are not required to make any changes in the headings itself, not allowed as such. You have to be specific as per the standard on auditing, because as to ensure the uniformity in the auditor's report. Otherwise, each auditor will have a different heading. Therefore, the importance of standard comes into play or comes into picture, because the users of the financial statements wants to ensure uniformity. There has to be a uniform format of the financial statement. So therefore, these headings and all that aspect has been designed in such a way that or a sequence has to be designed in such a way that users of the financial statement can take more insightful decision for their investing or some other purpose as per the need as such. So illustrative audit report we have studied actually. And then we see the illustrative audit report. I have shown you the illustrative audit report of the DLF. There is a separate para relating to going concern also. Going concern, although is separately dealt with the standard on auditing 570 revised. Going concern has today's become, much important para, and it has gained momentous because there were cases in the past which has insisted or forced the institute and the other government authorities to put a separate focus on the going concern. Because if the financial statements are not as per the going concern, or the going concern of an entity is in risk, then the whole financial statements are made at a realizable value rather than the historical cost method. So the financial statements will be changed dramatically. So, and the entities is not going to be long lasting. It is very much concerning for everyone, including lenders or maybe investors, everyone. So in SS 700 revised, there has been given a separate paragraph related to going concern, which talks about you auditor, you have to report on the material uncertainty relating to going concern, and it has to be placed after basis for the opinion paragraph. Like there was the title, addressee, then there was a section of the opinion, then basis for opinion. Below the basis for opinion, if there is any material uncertainty relating to going concern, or auditors see that there is something that is disturbing, the going concern assumption of the financial statements of the management, then it becomes very important to elaborate in a separate heading and a section, which will be placed after basis for opinion paragraph with the heading material uncertainty related to going concern. Earlier, what used to happen was the same was reported in EOM paragraph, but now it has been removed out of EOM paragraph, and this going concern case has been given a separate demarcated, or I can say a separate paragraph, which the users of the financial statements need to have, like what are the material uncertainties relating to going concern in the company, which is very important for the users to know. So what are those uncertainties? What are the examples of those uncertainties? That is properly given in SF 570 revised. That I'm not going to talk much today, but I'm going to talk about this 700 drafting, or the sequence of the 700. So although I have given a brief basically this illustration here, like what is the material, how can there be a material uncertainty related to going concern, but in the upcoming webinars I would also ask the concerned member to please take the specific webinar on this going concern. Any material uncertainty related to going concern is presented like this. We draw attention to the note number 6 in financial statement, which indicates that company has incurred a net loss of this during the year so and so, and as of that, company's current liability exceeds its assets by so and so amount. And as stated in note 6, these events and conditions as set forth in note 6 indicate that there is a material uncertainty exists that may cause significant doubt on the company's ability to continue as going concern. Auditor is saying to the member that management has already disclosed the same in the note number 6 to the financial statement, that the company has incurred lot of losses and its current liabilities is more than of current assets, or the assets in the company. So the net worth is in negative and company is incurring losses. So it is a event or a condition that is casting a significant doubt on the company's ability to continue as a going concern. But our opinion is not modified in respect of that matter. We will understand this, why this wording has been used. Our opinion is not modified in respect of this matter, because the auditor's opinion, how an auditor will form an opinion, I will just explain in a couple of minutes, that why when the auditor will modify the opinion, and when the auditor will only focus on certain paragraph and will say, I'm not modifying my opinion, or our opinion is not modified in respect of this matter, but it is very important to focus and put in the auditor's report that we draw your attention to the note number so and so in the financial statement, which is very concerning for the users of the financial statements. So let me just take through or go through the all this standard on auditing through the institute's material itself, which is very important material and very relevant at this point of time. And I am opening this PDF of SS 700 revised. My PPT only has given a brief, but now in the institute's material itself, we will study like the whole standard on auditing 700, and then we will go again to the DLF auditor's report, which will well resonate with this standard on auditing 700, which is given by the which is given in this institute material, ready material itself. So this standards objective talks about that objective of the auditor is to, of course, form an opinion on the financial statements based on the evaluation of conclusions drawn from the audit evidence obtained, and to express clearly through a written report. That is basically a auditor's report. So for this standard auditing, there has been given a certain definitions, but I'm skipping the definitions because we all know that like what specific definitions are there, what is the financial reporting framework, what is unmodified opinion. So we all know that. So I'm skipping to this extent the definitions part as such, and I'm outrightly moving to the next part, that is forming an opinion on the financial statement. So what opinion an auditor will form and how it will form, we are going to study now. So as you can see, the auditor shall form an opinion, and his wording shall be that whether the financial statements are prepared in accordance with the applicable financial reporting framework. And what is the financial reporting framework? That is the compliance framework that is applicable on the company. For example, if it's a private limited company or a public limited company, then all the respective sections of the Companies Act 2013 amended will be applicable on that particular company, and company has to comply with the sections mentioned in the Companies Act 2013 itself. That is the financial reporting framework. Or if the Companies Act talks about that financial statement has to be prepared in accordance with Ind AS, let's say. So all the financial statement has to be prepared in accordance with that. So auditor will give an opinion on whether the financial statement in all material aspects are in accordance with the financial reporting framework or not. So auditor has to come to a conclusion. How do auditor forms that opinion, and how do the auditor comes to the conclusion? In sequence, auditor perform lot of procedures, as we have studied in standard on auditing 315, 330, that the auditor perform lot of procedures. In 315, auditor identify the risk and assess the risk. In 330, auditor do a lot of procedures, compliance procedures to test the internal controls, substantive procedures to check like the financial statements. It does certain procedures whether the financial statements are material misstated or not. He performs such tests, but the nature, timing, and extent of such work will be based on the assessment of the risk as per SS 315. If the internal controls are weak, if the internal controls are low, then auditor will perform more work and will come to a conclusion after following a series of standard 315, 330, 230 documentation, and lot of other standards that we talk about. 450 evaluation of the misstatements, 500 audit evidence, 505 he will take the external confirmations, 520 he will perform the analytical procedures, 530 he will do the audit sampling, 550 he will check the related parties, 560 subsequent events, 570 going concern, 580, he will take the written representations. 600, he will also use the work of another auditors in case it is applicable. 610, he will use the work of internal auditors. 620, he will use the auditor's expert. After doing and following lot of other standards, the auditor will come to a conclusion that whether the financial statements are materially free from the misstatements, whether this is so, he will come to a conclusion. And once he follows a lot of other standard itself, then auditor shall evaluate in this particular standard whether the financial statement are prepared in all material aspect in accordance with the financial reporting framework, and shall include the consideration of the qualitative aspects of the entity's accounting practices, including the indicators of the lot of things as per the in the management's judgments. So in particular, I can say auditor shall evaluate the various requirements of the financial reporting framework, whether the financial statements disclose the significant accounting policies or the notes to accounts which are well applicable, whether the estimates that have been made by the management are well reasonable or not, or certain estimates are in such a way that do not resonate with the auditor's professional skepticism or the judgment. No, this for an example, I give an example. The company's net worth is negative, the company is incurring losses year by year, but management of the financial statements say that this entity is a going concern entity and we will recover from the losses and all that stuff. But when auditor performs or assess all the risk and perform other audit procedures, he comes to a judgment or an opinion that no, this entity is not going to be long lasting or continue as a going concern. So the estimates that have been made by the management are reasonable. Auditor will evaluate these kind of issues, these kind of things while forming an opinion on the financial statement. The information that has been presented in the financial statement is relevant, reliable, comparable, and understandable. The financial statements provide adequate disclosures to enable the users to understand the effect of the material transactions and events that is conveyed in the financial statements. Whether the terminology used in financial statement are in accordance with the financial reporting framework and is appropriate, that is something that auditor shall evaluate. The overall presentation, structure, content on the financial statement, all things auditor will evaluate, and then he shall or express an unmodified opinion when auditor concludes that the financial statement are prepared in accordance with the applicable financial reporting framework. So if auditor, based on the audit evidences obtained, he comes to a conclusion that financial statements are free from material misstatement, then he shall give an unmodified opinion. He shall give an unmodified opinion. If the auditor is unable to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence to conclude that financial statements as a whole are free from material misstatement, then also auditor shall express an unmodified opinion, because auditor has come to a conclusion that financial statement as a whole, there is on, let's say, one or two things he is not able to take the audit evidence. For example, I tell you, while auditor was auditing the financial statements of an entity, he checked all the things, sales, purchase, and all the internal controls of the entity. While checking sales, for example, auditor thought that he must also talk with the customers, or he should know the customer's name and country. But as a maybe foreign countries, he want to check the customers of the those are residing in the foreign. So, but management says that auditor, you cannot check the foreign customers. It is the company's policy that so that the customer name may not be revealed to the auditor or may not go outside in any way. So auditor will be requesting you that do not check the foreign, do not take the confirmation from the foreign, let's say, debtors, only check the domestic one. Or auditor forms a conclusion that Although in respect of only foreign debtor, auditor is unable to obtain any sufficient and appropriate evidence, but in respect of all other financial assertions, sales, purchase, domestic customers, or any of the expense side or the bank lending, he has obtained sufficient and appropriate evidence. Only this part is missing, and that auditor is also coming to a conclusion that it is management has given a reasonable, reasoning so as not to disclose the foreign, let's say, customers. So although auditor is unable to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence, but he comes to a conclusion that financial statement as a whole are free from material misstatement. So auditor shall give a unmodified opinion. So auditor will give unmodified opinion when he concludes that the financial statements are free from all the materials misstatement, all the things are okay, and then he shall give an unmodified opinion. And in case there is an inability to obtain, see in this A paragraph, auditor already has obtained the evidence, and financial statement as a whole are free from material misstatement. Like he has done checking and he has found all the things in correct and in accordance with the Ind AS, let's say, accounting standard. So he is forming an opinion. In A, he has performed the procedures, but in B, he is unable to perform the procedure. He could not check that particular financial assertion. But financial statement as a whole are free from material misstatement. So in both the cases, auditor shall give an unmodified opinion, a very clean opinion that financial statements, कैसे लिखेगा? How do auditors write in the financial statement? Like if financial statements are prepared in accordance with the requirements of FRF, then auditor shall write the financial statement is free from the material misstatement, and all that stuff you'll write. We are coming to that part also. So auditor's report ke content is given in brief. We have already covered that: title, addressee to whom it is being addressed, auditor's opinion. First is the opinion paragraph. Title, addressee we have seen. Title will be independent auditor's report. Addressee will be like to the members of DLF Limited. In opinion paragraph, what auditor shall elaborate and auditor shall brief. First of all, auditor shall brief, identify the entity whose financial statement have been audited. Like he will take the name of the entity which he is auditing to. Like he will identify that I have audited the financial statement of DLF Limited. So name of the entity is very important. He will state the financial statements have been audited. We are not auditing anything else. We are auditing the financial statement. Identify the title of each financial statement in the whole set. For example, he has checked the or audited the, let's say, balance sheet, profit and loss, cash flow statement, including notes to account. He will elaborate the title of each statement comprising the financial statements. Refer to the notes and the summary of the significant accounting policies, and then the date or the period by which the financial statement are covering. So in this particular opinion paragraph, he is going to also talk about the period. Like he has audited the financial statement of so and so entity, including cash flow, notes to account, balance sheet, P&L for the period. Or if it is balance sheet, then as on 31st March 2022, let's say. So he will talk about that date in the opinion paragraph. Although while expressing an unmodified opinion, the wording would be, in our opinion, the accompanying financial statements give a true and fair view of so and so company in accordance with the financial reporting framework. Or he can also write like this: in our opinion, accompanying financial statement presently fairly in all the material respect in accordance with the financial reporting framework. So this is all about the opinion paragraph. This is all about the opinion paragraph. So title is clear, address is clear, then opinion paragraph is clear. After opinion, we will also cover the basis for opinion now. What is the basis for opinion paragraph? Auditor report shall state that what is the base for the opinion. In this particular basis for opinion paragraph, auditor shall state that audit was conducted in accordance with the standard of auditing. refer to the section of the auditor report that describes the auditor's responsibility under the standard on auditing. So in the basis for opinion paragraph, auditor shall give reference to the auditor's responsibility that are mentioned under the auditor's responsibility under the standard on auditing paragraph. And he shall also include a statement that auditor is independent of the entity in accordance with the relevant ethical requirement, that he is like independent. He has, he shall refer the code of ethics issued by the ICI. Auditor shall mention that he has performed all the ethical responsibilities in accordance with the requirement. And he shall also state that whether auditor believes that audit evidence that auditor has obtained sufficient and appropriate audit evidences to base the auditor's opinion. So in the opinion and the basis for the opinion paragraph, all the things will be mentioned like this, that has been given in this particular standard on auditing material itself. And going concern, I had mentioned that in going concern, all the reporting requirements shall be in accordance with 570 revised. That will be taken on some other day, which will elaborate that what are the, although I have shown a note in my slides also, we draw your attention to so and so note. So that is the concern paragraph in the going concern that will be disclosed here. In key audit matter paragraph, it will be dealt with the separate standard 701 that will also be detailed out in another webinar, which will explain what are the key audit matter paragraph, and what are those matters that are disclosed here in SS 700 as per SS 701. But the sequencing is being briefed by the standard auditing 700 itself. What is the content to be placed in the key audit matter paragraph? That will be dealt by the standard on auditing 701. Then there were two paragraphs of the headings. One was the responsibility for the financial statements for the management, and the next would be responsibility of the auditors. So the responsibility of the management for the financial statements are what that has been prescribed here. The preparation of the financial statement in accordance with the applicable FRF and internal control ko lagana is the very much necessary for the preparation of financial statement. So it is the responsibility of the management prima facie. So that will be explained, in the preparation of the financial statement management paragraph. And auditor in the auditor's report paragraph will describe management's responsibility. Ki bhaiya auditor preparation of the financial statement in accordance with the FRF is the responsibility of the management. Assessing the entity's ability to continue as a going concern, and whether the use of going concern is appropriate or not will also be disclosed in the auditor's responsibility paragraph. So what are the management responsibility, that will be separately placed in the this responsibility for the management paragraph, and what are the auditor's responsibility for the standards on auditing, that auditor will also explain in this kind of paragraphs. The further auditor's responsibility for the audit of the financial statement, may auditor will brief out कि उसके क्या-क्या responsibilities है. This section shall perform the objectives of the audit, the kind of reasonable assurance, or the statements are how the material misstatements can arise from fraud or error, because there are inherent limitations in the audit. So there can be a case that frauds remain in the financial statements because of the inherent limitations of the audit. So auditor is going to talk about all these things in the auditor's responsibility for the audit of financial statements paragraph. So it's very, very important paragraph, and all the content has been given in the standard in this PDF. All of you can just refer to what is the content that has to be described in the auditor's responsibility paragraph and in the management's responsibility paragraph. That is exactly given here in the standard on auditing 700 material. Then, comes the other reporting responsibilities paragraph, which will talk about the other reporting responsibility in the auditor's report, and there will be a separate section on the report on other legal and any regulatory requirement which may be specific applicable by a specific law itself, that also has to be reported by in the independent auditor's report in the other reporting responsibility paragraph. So you can see that then the signature of the auditor, place of signature, and date of auditor's report is there. So I think that we have studied these parts till now, and let us look at the DLF auditor's report, like whether DLF auditors or the independent auditor's report of the auditors is following such a sequence or not. Let us check that. So I am opening the DLF, annual report again, and let us please now study the opinion paragraph and the other paragraph that I have just briefed out here as per the standard on auditing 700 revised. So let us see that. So just read out the opinion paragraph. So you see again I am repeating the title, addressee, heading, report on the audit of financial statement, then opinion. So let us see DLF के auditors ने क्या opinion दी है, what an opinion has been formed by the DLF auditors. So let us see here, like in the opinion paragraph, what we had discussed is what are the contents of the opinion paragraph? Name of the auditee will be mentioned. So they have mentioned, we have audited the accompanying financial statement of DLF Limited, which comprise of balance sheet as on date 31st March 2022, statement of profit and loss, including the statement of OCI, that is other comprehensive income, cash flow statement, and the statement of changes in equity for the year ended, and notes to the financial statements, a summary of significant accounting policies, and other explanatory information. So you see in this paragraph, opinion paragraph, auditors are well defined what were the contents of the opinion paragraph, name of the auditee, so it is DLF Limited. The period, which is as on 31st March 2022. What are the different financial statement auditors checked? So he has mentioned that balance sheet, profit and loss, other comprehensive income, OCI, statement of changes in equity, notes to accounts. You cannot write just we have audited the financial statements of an entity for the period or as on date. No, you have to be very specific and explain all these things, like what have you actually checked, all the main headings, even the significant accounting policies and the explanatory information. And in our opinion, and to the best of the information, and according to the explanations given to us, the aforesaid financial statements give the information required by the Companies Act 2013 in accordance, and give a true and fair view in accordance or in conformity with the policies accepted in India, that is the state of affairs of the company and its P&L and other comprehensive income, and for the changes in equity as on that date. So we can see auditor has given an unmodified opinion, and auditor said that to the best of the information and explanation given to us in this financial statement, these information so required give a true and fair view in accordance with the applicable framework. And what is the applicable framework? The accounting principles generally accepted in India, the state of affairs of the company, which is actually as per the Companies Act 2013, and all that stuff. So this is what the opinion paragraph. I think now opinion paragraph is much clear to all the members. Then what was the next paragraph to all the members? Yes, it was the basis for the opinion paragraph. And basis for the opinion may auditor will explain we conducted our audit in accordance with the standard on auditing, जो कि specify under 143(10) of the Act, and our responsibility under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibility for the audit of financial statement. So we had read exactly that in this basis for the opinion paragraph, auditor will refer to the auditor's responsibility that has been given in a separate section, auditor's responsibility for the audit of financial statement, and we are independent of the company in accordance with the code of ethics. कि भैया we are very independent, और जो code of ethics which have been placed, which has been described by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and together with the ethical requirements, we have followed that, and we have also fulfilled our ethical responsibility in accordance with the code of ethics, and we believe that we have obtained sufficient and appropriate evidence to base the auditor's opinion on the financial statement. So you see in the basis for the opinion paragraph, what we had just read in the institute material is exactly copied and pasted in the DLF auditor's report. So we come to a conclusion that this standard on auditing or the reference material by the institute is a treasure in itself. It's a reference material, and it gives us so much illustrations. When you refer to those material, you will appreciate that all these things that have been mentioned by the auditor have exactly been given in the standard itself or institute's material itself. So you will appreciate that. So we have read the basis of opinion paragraph, then UM paragraph, and other matter paragraph will be dealt by SS 706, which I will give a brief overview of the same. Then key audit matter paragraph. So we are just following the sequence, UM paragraph, then key audit matter paragraph, and key audit matter paragraph is very long in this particular auditor's report that will be separately dealt as per SS 701. So I'm skipping that. I'm just skipping the key audit meta paragraph. Then information other than the financial statement and the auditor's report. So what is this? So you just read out that company's board is responsible for the other information, and other information means that you see in the annual report, message from the chairman, director's report, management discussion, analysis report, corporate governance report. All these reports are the reports that have been given by the company's board of directors, and company's board of directors is responsible for those other information, and our opinion is only on the financial statement, India's financial statement, but does not cover the other information, and we do not express any opinion on the same. So auditor is very clearly explaining to the members that members, there are a lot of other information in the annual report, chairman's message, director's report, and all that stuff, but we are not forming an opinion on that, because as per our standard on auditing, we have to form an opinion only on the financial statements, India's on financial statement. We don't have to report or give an opinion on the other information. So very clearly we have mentioned that in the auditor's report, and in connection with the audit of financial statement, our responsibility is to read the other information, and whether the other information is consistent or inconsistent with the financial statement, that we have to see, and it is based on the work we have performed, and we conclude that there is material misstatement of the other information, that we are required to report that fact. We have nothing to report in this regard. We are not reporting anything on the other information, members. We are only giving to you a clear demarcation that it is the responsibility of the management, and we are not giving any opinion on that. Then the next section comes responsibility of the management and those charged with governance for the standalone India's financial statement. There it is mentioned that company's board of directors is responsible as per section 134 subsection 5 of the act. It is the responsibility of the management to prepare the financial statement in accordance with the FRF to give a true and fair view of the financial position, performance, including OCI, changes in equity, cash flow statement, everything. And management must comply with the different accounting standards, Indian accounting standard that are Ind AS, or the companies as in accordance with the 133 of the Act and the rules specified therein. So all these things are mentioned in the you say management's responsibility paragraph or the TCWG paragraph. Safeguarding the assets of the company is the management's responsibility. Preventing and detecting frauds and other irregularities in the company is the management's responsibility. Selection and application of the appropriate accounting policies and making judgments and estimate that are reasonable and prudent per se is the management's responsibility. Establishing the internal financial controls that ensures the accuracy, completeness of the accounting records is the management's responsibility. So all that stuff has been described in this particular section. And it is also mentioned that board of directors are also responsible for overseeing the financial reporting process. So all these things have been described very clearly in the management's responsibility paragraph. And then the other paragraph comes auditor's responsibility for the audit of financial statement. जहाँ पर auditor has to give certain via our objective are to obtain the reasonable assurance. We are not giving 100% assurance. We are not giving any absolute insurance. We are not giving any absolute insurance because of the inherent limitations in the audit. We are only giving a reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements as a whole are free from material misstatement or whether due to fraud or error to issue an audit report that includes our opinion. So reasonable assurance is a high level of assurance, but it is not a guarantee that or material misstatement 100% this is detected. This is not a particular I can say this is not a absolute assurance that management is describing in the management responsibility paragraph. And further auditor will elaborate that audit has been conducted in accordance with the standards on auditing. We have exercised the professional judgment and we have maintained a professional skepticism throughout the audit. He will explain all these things in the auditor's responsibility paragraph. So you see in this particular paragraph, all the things that was mentioned in the reference material issued by the institute have been well taken up by the DLF auditors. Then other matter paragraph, जिसमें auditor will explain that we did not audit the financial statement of the other financial information and all that stuff. कि we have only done this audit. अगर किसी subsidiary की audit है या let's say joint venture का audit है, we have not done that. So other information, other matter paragraph is dealt by the SS 706. EOM and other matter paragraph is being dealt as per the SS 706. And key audit matter paragraph is being dealt with standard on auditing 701. And then again comes the last second paragraph that is reporting on the other legal and regulatory requirement. So other legal and regulatory requirement, if anything is there, like as required by the CARO, it will mention that particular regulatory requirement, and auditor shall also state that as required by which section we have obtained and sought all the information and explanation to base and to best of the knowledge and the explanation. So all things will be mentioned here in the reporting on the other regulatory and other matter paragraph. Then the name, date and place signature will follow. So I think that we all should be very clear on this particular part, that how to prepare an auditor's report and how to form an unqualified auditor's opinion, and how to describe the same in the opinion paragraph, and then in the basis for the opinion paragraph. So I'm again going to the reference material of the Institute of SS 700 revised, and I will show you. So I will show you that what are the things that you should study on your own. In case you find any difficulty, then I can be contacted. But auditors, I will just brief out here that in the standard on auditing, we have covered each and everything. So, title, again and again, all these things have been mentioned. Title, addressee, auditor's opinion, then basis for the opinion. I'm again and again repeating all these same things. Why? Because it is mentioned number of times in the SS 700 itself, and SS 700 wants all the auditors to follow this sequence, to follow the wordings that have been given in the reference material. So you just see that the exact wordings is well given in the this standard auditing material. This is like 47 pages material, very elaborative, very concise and specific material. In case you need an help, just Google it down, SS 700 revised by ICI. You will have a PDF copy of the same, and you will see that all these things have been mentioned very insightfully and very in a detailed manner. Responsibility for the financial statement, responsibility of the auditors, all these things have been mentioned. Other reporting responsibilities there: signature, date, all these things have been, signature of the auditor, date of the auditor, place. All these things are being are being explained in this particular material in a very detailed manner. So you see, it's a very again content or the material. See from page number 25, Institute has given 5 illustrations. 5 illustrations. Like illustration 1 talks about, in case you are doing an audit or giving an audit report of a listed entity, then how you can give a auditor's report. So it is a draft basically. So you must go through, all the members are requested to go through these illustrations. And I really found that these illustrations are very helpful when you are doing an audit of a listed entity. In illustration 2, the draft report is on the consolidated financial statement of a listed entity, but should be the exact wording that have been described in the illustration 2 itself. Then illustration 3 talks about the audit report on the financial statement of a unlisted company. Illustration 4, it talks about the auditor's report on the financial statement of a non-corporate entity, and in accordance with FRF. And illustration 5 talks about with auditor's report on financial statement of a non-corporate entity, but with the general purpose framework. So 5 illustrations have been given in the Institute's material, and in the upcoming pages from 26 to 47, all these illustrations have been described. So you can just see that in illustration 1, it has given auditor's draft report on the financial statement of a listed entity in accordance with the FRF. So this has given certain circumstances that has assumed that audit of a complete set of a listed companies there, but it is not a group audit, because in this illustration a single listed company is being taken care of, and auditor's report and audit report on the same is being illustrated here. Then illustration 2, group audit assumption will be there. So it is like that. So you see assumptions have been given, like on what basis auditor is given, the unmodified opinion is there, relevant ethical requirement has also been fulfilled. Based on the evidence obtained, auditor has concluded that material uncertainty does not exist. So the going concern paragraph will not be there. In case it exists, so there will be a separate paragraph for the going concern. Key audit matter paragraph in accordance with 7.1. TCWG responsibilities described well in the financial statement, and auditor has also, it is being assumed that auditor also has to report on the, let's say, CARO, other reporting responsibility required in the Companies Act 2013. So how it gives the illustrative report, let us see. So title is same, independent auditors report to the members of the company, report of the audit of the financial statement, then opinion. We have audited the standalone financial statement of so and so company, which describe, which comprise the balance sheet as on date, the profit and loss, cash flow, or the OCI, or the statement of changes in equity. All these things are mentioned. In our opinion, and the best of the explanation and the information given to us, the aforesaid financial statement give the information required by the Act in the manner so required and give a true and fair view in conformity with the accounting principles generally accepted by the company. So you see, this particular paragraph was pasted from here, was given, took a reference from here, and DLF auditors exactly gave the same paragraph in the opinion paragraph. Then comes the basis for the opinion. We have conducted our audit in accordance with the standard on auditing, and our responsibilities are well mentioned in the auditor's responsibility paragraph. We have done the audit in accordance with the code of ethics issued by the institute that comply with all the ethical requirements, and we have fulfilled our requirements under the code of ethics, and we believe that we have obtained the sufficient and appropriate evidence to base our opinion, to provide a basis for our opinion. Then key audit matter paragraph will be there as per SS 7.1. Then management responsibility for the financial statement will be there. Key, preparation of the financial statement is the responsibility of the management. Safeguarding the assets of the company is the responsibility of management. Detecting frauds, preventing and detecting fraud is the responsibility of the management. Application of the accounting policies is the responsibility of the management. Making judgments and estimates that are prudent and reliable is management's responsibility. All these things are mentioned in the which paragraph? Management's responsibility for the standalone financial statements. Then auditor's responsibility for the audit of the financial statement paragraph is given there. Then other matter paragraph, if we did not audit of these branches, that will be dealt as per SS 7.6. Then we assumed in this illustration that we are also reporting the CARO. So in this particular paragraph, report on the other legal and regulatory requirement will be mentioned, and after that the this particular title, place, date, and name of the auditors will be, sign of the auditor will be mentioned here. So you see, then all the illustrations, like illustration 2 is the consolidated financial statement. So wordings, see, whole audit report format will remain same. Only what will be changed, we have audited the accompanying consolidated financial statements of the entity. So only this thing will be changed. Only this thing will be changed. Herein referred to as a holding company and subsidiaries and its associates and jointly controlled entities, which comprises so and so. So these kind of wording will be changed. Rest, all the sequencing, all the other paragraph will remain same. So I am only highlighting the things which will be changed in this illustration. Rest, all things will remain same. So here in the opinion paragraph, all this wording will be used. Basis for opinion में आपका यहाँ पर जो ऑडिटर्स रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी था वहां पर आ जाएगा ऑडिटर्स रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी फॉर द ऑडिट ऑफ consolidated financial statement. So before the wordings financial statement, there will be a prefix consolidated financial statement. Rest all the wording is same. There is no change. So I'm not repeating all these things. Only I'm showing you the changed things. auditor's responsibility for the audit of consolidated financial statement. So you see in the heading where it was mentioned auditor's responsibility for the audit of financial statements, there a word has been added, consolidated financial statement, and reasonable assurance about the consolidated financial statement. Rest all things are same. I think members can resonate and correlate all these illustrative report, and members are well prudent and well aware where a change would come and all these things. So, we have covered the illustration 2 also. Illustration 3, it's an unlisted company. So, in the unlisted company, you will mention here that so-and-so company, to the members of so-and-so company, we have audited the standalone financial statements and so, and in our opinion, so there is no change in that, in this illustration. So I think we have covered well and we have justified well with all the illustration. You can just go through and you just read the illustration first, then assumptions for the illustration, and you read the illustrative format for the same, and you would find that there are no much changes. There are no much changes, only the slight changes are there, which will be followed in different paragraphs. But the sequencing, like title, addressee, opinion, what are the contents of the opinion paragraph, what are the contents of the basis for opinion paragraph, what are the responsibility of the management and TCWG, what are the responsibility of the auditor, other matter, or the report on the other and legal report paragraph, signature, place and title, signature, place and date. All these things, will remain same. So I think that, and I assure that members may have well, covered the 47 pages of the institute's material, plus we have seen certain illustrations, and we saw that in certain illustrations where there was a little change, that change was there in the illustrative audit report, that we all have to see what we are auditing, whether we are auditing a consolidated financial statement. So we have to use that illustration that is well defined in the illustrative illustration on the consolidated financial statement. If we are auditing the standalone financial statement, then illustration 1 would follow. So on, so forth on the different illustrations. And we have also seen the DLF auditor's report, the practical auditor's report, and we have also read it from the study material itself. We have also studied it from the PPT itself, and we have also studied it from the institute's material and different illustrations. So I think that this standard on auditing, standard revised, is sufficient enough to be covered up. Now, my certain standards 701, 705, 706 are left out, but I will not touch them in very detail. Taking institute's material, I will not be able to take institute's material for the rest of the standards 701, 705, and 706. But I will give you a brief overview of the same, so that you can elaborate as an auditor. You can think as an auditor while auditing. 700 talked about the unqualified opinion, unmodified opinion. But in 705, we will see the modified opinion. In 706, we will see the emphasis of meta paragraph, other meta paragraph. In 701, we will see the key audit meta paragraph. So let us now move to the overview section of the 705, 6, and if time will permit, then we'll also take an overview of 701. So let me just open up this slide first, and let us take a brief overview of these particular standards. And I really think that 701 I will cover later. First, let me cover the very important overview, 705 and 706. So first I will take 705, and 706. Then if time will remain, then I will take only the overview of standard 1. Okay, I think members are with me on this. Yeah. So standard on auditing 705 talks about modifications to the opinion in the auditor's report. 700 in standard on auditing, we are talked about a very clean opinion that financial statement give a true and fair view in all material in accordance with the financial statement give a true and fair view in accordance with the financial reporting framework, balance sheet, changes in equity, OCI, and all that stuff we talked about. But in 705, we are talking about the modifications. What do you mean by modification to the opinion of the financial statements, and how to give a qualified report? And all the respected members, all the senior members, all the learned members, young members, please understand that gone are the times when auditor's report was not being checked by the different authorities. Now is the time auditor's report is being checked. Auditor's report is being checked, and NAFRA, sometimes NAFRA is issuing a notice to the auditor. How you're giving a unmodified opinion? What we have analyzed, that company has not complied with the FRF. Still you are giving a unmodified opinion. How do you do that? The notices are being issued. So as an auditor, this is the high time that we do not take any risk. If the financial statements are modified, then we should give a modified opinion. We should give the modified opinion. Gone are the days when client used to say, sir, please do not modify our opinion, give an unmodified opinion. And we also as an auditor are giving, let's say, unmodified opinion, even if we know that different sections of the Companies Act are not being followed. If you don't do that as an auditor, then later on, if your audit report is being checked by the different regulatory authorities, and you may have to encounter a situation where you are receiving a notice. Recently, I was just checking the WhatsApp, and I came to know, or I just got a PDF. There was a notice that was issued to the auditor of so company. I can also show that. I would show it to, after covering the 705 plus 706 overview. I will show you why these standards are important. Why there is a high time to be alert in checking, in doing the audit procedures. These standards on auditing are not theoretical standards. These standards are talking very, very practical things as an auditor. Just like Ind AS talk about how to, while preparing the financial statement, how to do the accounting work, how valuations have to be done for the gratuity or different stock valuation, everything. So we all learn Ind AS or accounting standard, but hardly we give any time to the auditing standards. Hardly we understand that as an auditor, whatever our standard that we need to follow. So the importance of these standards are increasing day by day, and this particular VCMs are very, very important for all the learned members to learn how to give a modified opinion. Let us see. If the financial statements are materially misstated, but it is not pervasive. What is pervasive and what is material? Let me make you understand. Let me give you an overview of the same. So the materiality is a very subjective term, but as per the institute standard, it talks about anything which influences the economic decisions of the users of the financial statement. If it causes that, if due to your information or something, the decision can be changed, that influences the economic decisions, that is something that should be considered as a materiality. But it is a very, very subjective term. In one of the auditors, as per the professional skepticism and the judgment, one auditor may find one thing to be very material, while in other auditors, judgment, professional judgment, the thing is not material. Although it's a very subjective term, but you should see that whether that thing is based on the parameter, that whether it will influence the decision of a user. So that is material. And what is pervasiveness? Pervasiveness is at the whole level of financial statement. क्या ये सिर्फ एक दो गलती है या सारी फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स के लेवल पर छाई हुई है? Whether it is presented in each financial assertion, we are checking material misstatements. They are in the all the expense side, all the revenue side, all the asset side, all the liability side. All the material misstatements are there at a pervasive level. So if the financial statements are materially misstated, but only in respect of one or two matter, that is material but not pervasive. But not pervasive means not at a all financial statement level, but only at a one two assertion. So we will give a qualified opinion. We will give a qualified opinion, and we will talk about this like this. We'll give the opinion like this. The financial statements give a true and fair view except for or subject to this. We will see what is the exact wording to be used in the standard itself. So if the financial statements are materially misstated, but only one or two, let's say, legal expense is not valued properly, or let's say gratuity is not properly valued, and auditor finds that there is certain misstatement in valuing the gratuity. So what he can do, he can give a qualified opinion. Like, subject to this, all things are okay, and financial statements are free from material misstatement, give a true and fair view in accordance with the financial reporting framework. But what if the financial statements are material and pervasive? The financial statements are materially misstated at all levels. Whole financial statement are materially misstated. So you will give a adverse opinion. You will give a adverse opinion. So is this clear? If financial statement are materially misstated, but to only one two level, means material but not pervasive, so you will give a qualified opinion. If it is material and also pervasive at all levels of financial statement, you give an adverse opinion. And please note that ये तो तब है जब you are able to the first case is when you are able to check and perform audit procedures. You are able to have certain audit evidences. You are able to perform and check the sales, purchase expenses, and all the things. But what happens if you are unable to check the financial statement, or management denies to do so, or management is putting let's say stop on the checking of certain items. If it is in respect of certain items, one two item, but not pervasive, then also you should qualify the audit report. Then you should give a qualified opinion. And if it is presented at all levels, whatever we check the purchase vouchers, management is saying you cannot check purchase voucher. We are checking the sales invoices, management is saying no, you cannot take the external confirmation, be it domestic or foreign. We are checking the, let's say, legal expenses, and we ask for the legal invoices, management is saying no, you cannot check that. We are checking, like, let's say, bank loan and its accounting, we are asking for the, let's say, bank statement, and management says no, we cannot give you the bank statement or something like that. Inability to obtain sufficient and appropriate evidence. In that particular case, when there is an inability to obtain sufficient and appropriate evidence, we have not performed any audit procedure. Then in what cases? If it is material but not pervasive, means it at only one two level it is there, then we'll give qualified opinion. But if in all the assertions management is giving us a chance and we are unable to obtain sufficient and appropriate evidence, we'll give a disclaimer opinion. We will give a disclaimer of opinion. Disclaimer means we could not do any work. We are disclaiming, we will resign from the auditor's position, and that will be detailed, that will be discussed in detail whenever there is a separate VCM on standard 1, 5, and 6. So situations, I will thoroughly discuss or give a brief view, situations which warrants the qualification of an audit opinion. circumstances beyond the control of the entity, circumstances relating to nature and timing of the auditor's work, limitations imposed by the management. These are the situations that auditor should understand and give a qualified auditor's report. Give a qualified auditor's report. And what will be the wordings in case of qualified auditor's report? Let me just open one of the illustration given by the institute and show you like what is the actually this particular modified report. Let us see in one of the illustration how is the qualified auditor's report. Then we will close 705 and then we'll give a brief overview. I have given although a brief overview of 705. I have not gone into details of the 705. I'm just giving you an overview of the same. So, qualified opinion due to the material misstatement of the financial statement. In this particular illustration, the financial statements are prepared, so and so assumptions are there. Let us see what is the wordings in the opinion paragraph. You see, title is same in case of modified opinion, yes or no? Yes, sir. Address is same, yes, sir. Report on the audit of the standalone financial statement is same. In the while giving a clean report or unmodified opinion, there was a heading opinion paragraph. But as per standard 5, when you are giving a let's say modified opinion, then you will write here qualified opinion. Qualified opinion. Or in case you are giving a disclaimer opinion or you are giving let's say adverse opinion, so you will write that particular word here. In case qualified opinion is there, qualified means financial statements are materially misstated, but it is not pervasive. It is material but not pervasive. Or qualification can be in respect of you are unable to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence at a material level but not pervasive. In both the cases, auditor may give the qualified opinion. So let us read. The first paragraph is the same. We have audited the financial statement of so-and-so entity as on this particular date. All these things are mentioned there. In our opinion and best of our information and according to explanation given to us, except for the effects of the matters prescribed in the basis for qualified opinion section of our report, the aforesaid financial statement give a true and fair view. So you see here, please highlight this. Let me just highlight this area. Let me just highlight this area. Yes. So this is very important. Except for the effects of the matter described in the basis for the qualified opinion paragraph, the aforesaid financial statement give a true and fair view. So wording would be except for. It is not subject to. It is except for. Please focus on this word. Except for the effects of the matter described in the basis for the qualified opinion paragraph, the aforesaid financial statement give a true and fair view. And when there is what is the next paragraph after opinion paragraph, means in this case qualified opinion paragraph, basis for opinion. But here as per standard 5, we will use this word basis for qualified opinion. Basis for qualified opinion. And auditor is mentioning here, company's inventories are carried in the balance sheet at this value and management has not stated the inventories at lower of the cost or NRV value, but it is at the cost only. So basically all these things they have mentioned that only in respect of the inventory, it is not valued properly. So in the basis for the qualified opinion paragraph, auditor has explained all the things like why I am qualifying this report. There is a departure from one of the accounting standard as per 133 of the Companies Act 2013, and companies record indicate that management stated that inventories at agar management let's say in this particular qualified opinion paragraph, but auditor has stated that or company's inventory has been valued at let's say cost price only, but had the company reported it cost on NRV, whichever is lower. So this would have been the value. Yeah. And he will also explain the difference between the two. What should have been done, what have been done, and how much impact would be this. So accordingly, cost of sale would have been increased by this, and profits or the net worth or the net shareholder fund would have been reduced by this. So in respect of this, that particular impact has also been mentioned in the basis for the qualified opinion paragraph. Rest all the things are same. Key audit matter paragraph is same. TCWG, auditor responsibility, other matter paragraph, other all these things are same as per SS standard. Only what thing has been changed in the standard 5, the wording would be qualified opinion, and the wording would be except for the details given in the qualified basis for the qualified opinion paragraph, the financial statement give a true and fair view in accordance with the applicable FRF. And in the basis for the qualified opinion paragraph, we will give the detailing in respect of which assertion there is a problem. Like in that particular illustration, there is a problem in respect of the inventory valuation. So auditor described that. You have to describe 3 things. What is the problem, how it should have been valued, what has been valued, and what is the impact, like the difference between the two, and what would be the impact on the shareholder fund, or let's say profits would have been reduced by this, and so on and so forth. You would also explain the impact of the valuation aspect. So this is like qualified opinion. Next comes when what would happen when there is an adverse opinion. What would the adverse opinion? So only this thing, only see this particular title will remain same, address will remain same, and audit on the report, this heading will remain same. This heading has been changed. Only thing is that the wordings would be not opinion, not qualified opinion, but adverse opinion, because the financial statements are free from are sorry, not free, but are materially misstated at pervasive level. So it is an adverse opinion. So how would be the wording? We have audited the financial statement of, let's say, so and so company and so and so. In our opinion, you just highlight that. In our opinion, and based on the information and the explanation given to us, because of the significance of the matter discussed in the basis for adverse opinion paragraph, the accompanying financial statement do not give a true and fair view, do not give a true and fair view in accordance with the, let's say, FRF, but whatever it may be, like accounting principle generally accepted in India of their consolidated state of affairs of the group. So you see the wordings, the only wordings have been changed. In our opinion, and because of the significance of the matter discussed in the basis for adverse opinion. In case of qualified, it was basis for qualified opinion. In case of adverse opinion, it is basis for adverse opinion. And it has been given that financial statement do not give a true and fair view. That means what have been done? We have given an adverse opinion. And why it is so? What is the base of the adverse opinion? As explained in note number 10, group has not consolidated its subsidiary so and so acquired during this year, because it has not yet been able to determine the fair value of the certain subsidiaries, material assets and liabilities at the acquisition date. And therefore, groups, financial statement, when this is one of the subsidiary that may have been acquired during the year, but management has not been able to determine the fair values of the material assets and liabilities at the acquisition date. And because of that, because the subsidiary has not been consolidated in the financial consolidation, in the consolidated financial statement. So how does the consolidated financial statement would give a true and fair view? Because of the material assets and liabilities, when it will be consolidated, it will show the impact. So all these things you have to mention. Rest, all the headings will remain same. And last is we have studied the qualified, we have studied the adverse. Now let us see the illustration of the disclaimer opinion. Let us see the case where there is a disclaimer of the opinion. So you see the report is same, title is same, address is same. In only the disclaimer of opinion paragraph, heading is changed. In qualified, there is a qualified opinion heading. In adverse opinion, there is a heading adverse opinion. And in disclaimer, where you are unable to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidences at all levels, you will say a disclaimer of opinion. And what would be the opinion paragraph wordings? You see, we were engaged to the audit of accompanying consolidated financial statement of so and so entity and its financial statement. We see, you just highlight this. Yes, we do not express an opinion. It is not saying कि true and fair view देते या नहीं देते. Auditor is not saying कि we are giving a true and fair view or not. No, we could not work. We could not obtain any audit procedures. So how would be the wordings drafted? We do not express an opinion. We are not expressing any opinion on the accompanying financial statement of the group because of the significance of the matter described in the basis for disclaimer of opinion section of our report. We have not been able to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence to provide a basis for the audit opinion on this consolidated financial statement. But yeah, we could not express an opinion. We are not expressing an opinion because we could not perform any audit evidences. We could not, we have not been able to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidences. As per which standard we obtain, sufficient and appropriate audit evidences. As per standards, 200, 230 audit documentation and lot of audit evidences that we obtain. But specifically as a 500 talk about you have to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidences. As a 500 talks about that. As a 500 talks about that. So as per as a 500, we have not been able to obtain various audit evidences and therefore we do not form an opinion. And what is the base for the disclaimer of opinion? You see here, the group investment in its joint venture is carried at this, which represent 90% of the group net assets. And we are not allowed access of the management's report and auditor's report. We were not allowed access, means auditor could not work. We were not allowed access to the management and auditors of the, one of the joint venture, which constitute 90% of the value. In value, it constitutes 90%. And auditor has not been given access to that joint venture audit report. So we were unable to determine whether any adjustments were necessary in respect of the group proportion. So it has well explained why they have given the disclaimer opinion. It is in the basis for the disclaimer of the opinion paragraph. Rest all you can say responsibilities of the management and TCWG auditor responsibility report on the other legal and regulatory requirement date, place, sign. All these things are same. So we just saw that in 7.5 when we are giving a, I'm just summarizing it. We are giving a modified opinion. And in modified opinion, we can give 3 opinion. Qualified, either it would be qualified or it would be adverse opinion or it would be disclaimer of opinion. Qualified when the financial statement are materially misstated but not pervasive. Qualify the audit report. When you are unable to obtain sufficient and audit evidences, but at a material level, not at a pervasive level, then give a qualified opinion. Adverse, when all the financial statements are materially misstated, valuations of the, let's say, one of the joint venture are have not been done properly. So adverse the opinion, give an adverse opinion. And in case you are unable to obtain any audit evidences, then you disclaim the audit opinion, disclaimer of the opinion, and you will mention the basis for the whether qualified or the disclaimer or the adverse opinion in the basis for opinion paragraph that would substantiate with your opinion, like why you are doing so. So 705 is talks about all these qualified, adverse, and disclaimer thing. And now in next 10 minutes, I will give a brief overview of only our last standard on auditing, 706, only brief overview, which talks about emphasis of matter paragraph and other matter paragraph. I will not be able to take up 701 key audit meta paragraph at all, and I have not covered the institute's material of essay 705, and let us see how much we will be able to cover the essay 706, essay 706. So let us move to the our next standard and the last standard of the day, essay 706. Essay 706 talks about two particular things. So you see the emphasis of meta paragraph and other meta paragraph in the independent auditor's report. So what is this EOM and the meta paragraph? So what is EOM? So you see a paragraph, you see, let me just change the color. A paragraph included in the auditor's report that refers to a matter which has already been presented or disclosed in the financial statements. That in the auditor's judgment is of such importance that it is fundamental to the user's understanding of the financial statement. A matter which is already included in the financial statement by the management, but auditor thinks that it is of such importance that is fundamental to the user's understanding कि user को पता लगना चाहिए, users should know about this particular matter, although it is disclosed by the management. But as an auditor, it is our responsibility to emphasize on that, to focus on that, to give a note on that. Under which paragraph? Under emphasis of meta paragraph. Only those things will be covered in the EUM paragraph which has already been disclosed. I'm again and again repeating this because only those matters will lie under EOM paragraph which are already covered under the let's say management's notes to financial statement. Already there, management already disclosed the same. Still we want to give a focus, show in EOM paragraph, but in the other matter paragraph, it is the paragraph that refers to those matters. Let me just erase this. Let me, see a paragraph in the auditor's report that refers to those matters which are other than presented and disclosed in the financial statements. And in auditor's judgment, it is very relevant to the user's understanding of the audit and auditor's responsibility of the auditor's report. So EOM, the matters which are already included in the management's notes and all that stuff. In other matter, the areas which are not disclosed by the management in its financial statements and the accompanying notes to the financial statement. This is only the difference between the EOM and other matter paragraph. In the EOM and other matter paragraph. So you can well see, has the auditor's responsibility changed with respect to change in reporting requirements? So the answer is yes. Auditor, even, you see, you will learn eventually in the future VCMs, how much, it is important to report even those matters which are very, very key and critical. So those are being taken care of by the SS 701 key audit meta paragraph. Okay, so auditor's responsibility has changed with the time, with the change in the reporting requirements, and I can say that in all this, EUM and other matter paragraph, what are the things that are being shown by the company? Let me show an illustration also. So after this, after only let's say 5 more minutes, I would be just taking up the questions and we would be closing off. But before that, let me open up an illustration of the SS 706 UM and other matter paragraph. So we can first read out only this particular DLF report, wherein there was a EUM meta paragraph. Let us read that here. Let us read the EUM paragraph. Yeah. So EUM paragraph is after the basis for the opinion. Number one thing, which is very important, is EUM paragraph is, EUM paragraph is after the basis for the opinion. So let us read that EUM paragraph. We draw our attention to note number 50 of the financial statement of the company, which describes the uncertainty relating to outcome of a pending litigation filed against the company. So I already said in the emphasis of matter paragraph, there will be matters which have already been disclosed by the management in its notes to the financial statement. So how as an auditor we need to refer to the EM paragraph? We are saying that we draw our attention to note number so and so to the financial statement. That means that particular thing has already been disclosed in the financial statement. Yes or no? Yes, sir. What is that importance of the matter that auditor had to disclose in the EM paragraph? Let us read that. In a complaint filed against the company relating to imposing unfair conditions on the buyers, the Competition Commission of India has imposed a penalty of 63,000 lakhs on the company, and which was also upheld by the Competition Appellate Tribunal. Means there is a complaint against the company which has been taken up by the Competition Commission of India, and CCI has imposed a penalty, or the outcome is 63,000 lakhs, and the company has gone into tribunal, but the decision is same, and company has filed an appeal which is currently pending with the Honorable Supreme Court of the India, Apex Court of the India, and company has deposited 63,000 lakhs as per the directions of the Honorable Supreme Court of India. So the quantum or the constitution of this particular litigation is such a high matter that in fact needs a user's attention, that it is of such an importance that needs to be attended by the users. And further, there is one more litigation case that has been well defined in the EUM paragraph. All the pending litigation cases are being reported by the DLF auditors. In a writ filed with the Honorable High Court of Punjab and Haryana, the company and one of its subsidiary and a joint venture have received judgments cancelling the sale of deed relating to two IT SEZ projects in Gurgaon, and company and subsidiary companies file SLP, specially petitions challenging the order, which is currently pending with the Honorable Apex Court. And Honorable Apex Court has admitted the matters and stayed the operations of the imposed assessments till further orders in both the cases. So stay order lag gaya hai. There has been a stay order on these projects and the cases. So they are mentioning like these are the key projects. So although adjudication is still to be done, but still auditor found it very important to bring to the notice of the users of the financial statement to include the same in the EUM paragraph. And you see, and they are also mentioning this based on the advice of the external legal counsels. No adjustment has been considered in the financial statement by the management in respect of. So when we obtain the external confirmations, when we take the external confirmations, as per we take certain SA 402, even we have to use a service organization services, even we have to take the expert advice as per different standard on auditing. So as per the advice of external legal counsel, auditor thinks that no adjustments are proposed to be considered in the financial statements, and our opinion is not qualified or modified in respect of such matter. So it is very important that they are mentioning ki this is something that we are mentioning, but our opinion is we are not qualifying the opinion. Had the auditor thought it very important, so auditor should have qualified the opinion. Auditor would have qualified the opinion and would have included in the basis for the qualified opinion paragraph. But the matter is of such significance that auditor did not thought it to to qualify the auditor's report, but only it was important to show in the EUM paragraph. Emphasis is on matter paragraph. And this thing is very important that in the end of the session, I'm just linking the first line that I took. Our opinion is not modified in respect to such matter. Had it been modified, it would have gone to the qualified adverse and disclaimer kind of thing based on the materiality and the pervasiveness of the that concern. But auditor thought it is not that much, no adjustments are required as such. So auditor thought it important to show it in the EUM paragraph. And the last paragraph, it is showing that we draw the attention to the note number 57, which describe the uncertainties of the management assessment of the financial impact due to the COVID pandemic situation, for which a definite assessment. Ye sabne diya tha. This is the common paragraph that all the companies had, all the auditors had given post COVID. So this is something like uncertainty and management assessment due to the restrictions conditions related to COVID should be discussed in the notes to accounts by the management. And further, as an auditor, we are supposed to disclose the same in the EUM paragraph, that is emphasis of matter paragraph. So I think we have all well covered the emphasis of matter paragraph. Key audit matter paragraph I will not be able to take up due to the last 5-7 minutes. And last thing I want to show you is the other matter paragraph. Other matter, देखिए जब मैंने बताया था तो मैंने कहा भी था when I described this in the very starting. So I mentioned that I will take up with the standard 6. See, in other matter paragraph, but what was the matters? The matters which are not there in the financial statements of the entity, but the matters are such of importance that auditor understand that user of a financial statement attention is required in respect of such matter. So what are those matters? Let us take only 2 minutes on that. We did not audit the financial statements and other financial information in respect of one of the partnership firm whose financial statement include share of profit for 33 lakhs for the year ended so and so. So in our company's audit report, which the auditor is auditing, there is a share of profit of one partnership firm for 33 lakhs, which partnership firm audit has not been performed by us, but by another auditor. So this is something that is not disclosed in the notes to account, and that is not supposed to be disclosed by the management. But auditor took it, auditor understood it very important to include this in the other matter paragraph, like we do not audit the financial statement of a partnership firm, or the accompanying financial statement include unaudited financial statement of a partnership firm or so and so. So auditor thought it very important that and to include it in the other matter paragraph. And our opinion is not modified in respect of such matter. This is being something reported by the auditor here. We did not audit the financial statement of the DLF, let's say Real Estate Builders Limited, Residential Builders Limited, Phase 4 Limited, and all that stuff. And in the last, it is saying the same thing. Our opinion is not modified in respect of above matter. So this is other matter paragraph. Then the report on other legal and regulatory requirement, I've already explained. Then date, sign, and all the format is one and same. So I think that keeping in view the time allotted to me, I have well covered up the auditors, how to draft an opinion, what are the audit considerations in forming an opinion on the financial statements. I think I have squarely covered all the 3 very important standards, SS 700, 705, 706. In SS 700, we talked about the unmodified opinion, clean report, unqualified opinion. In 705 revised, we talked about the qualified opinion, disclaimer, and adverse opinion. In 706, we talked about the emphasis of meta paragraph and other matter paragraph. EM, jo already there, these are there in the financial statement. Other meta paragraph which are not there in the financial statement, but auditor thinks it is important to disclose. And we have also seen a lot of illustrations and the practical independent auditors report of the DLF Limited, where we found that auditors of the DLF Limited is well, taken care of all the institutes auditing standards revised that has been prescribed by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and auditors were SR Bartley Boy EY. So I think we should appreciate the auditors who are well, performing well with the reporting requirements, and importance is of such has gained a momentum that we all members must think about that. So thank you everyone for your patient hearing. And now if there are any questions, I would give stage to the organizers. And thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shivaji. Thank you so much, sir, for such a wonderful and detailed deliberation for whole 2 hours from 11:30 to 1:30. You have spoken continuously and covered almost 700, 70156 covered also. And you have covered almost all the aspects and in a very lucid manner and in a very with all the examples and case studies. Thank you so much, sir. I have received certain questions. So first question is whether these standards, 700 series standard, is applicable for non-corporate entities or LLP also. If yes, then some FERA has to be modified, which talks about the Companies Act.
Yes, there is a separate paragraph of the non-corporate entities also. In one of the illustration that I showed further, there has been a given an illustration which talks about how to give a, let's say, auditor's opinion on the non-corporate entity, and I have well shown that. So maybe the question should be before I showed this page, and after I showed, the question is closed and resolved.
Yes, yes, sir. Sir, what alternate audit procedures can be performed in case of foreign debtors, in case no confirmations shall be available from these foreign debtors to the auditor?
See, you can check the export documentation in case we are doing the export sales. So very elaborately, you can check the, let's say, shipping bill. You can check from the ICE gate, like what was the declared commercial invoice, bill of lading, packing list, shipping bill. You can check it from the ICE gate also. What is the shipping bill number? Whether the declared things were as per the customs act or not. So all these alternative procedures you can perform so as to form an opinion, so as to be assured about that these are the alternative procedures that we have performed. Although audit procedures are being dealt with the SA 520, 500, 501, 520, 540, and all those things. So SA 500 series will be talking about that, or 315, 330. That what are the alternative procedures that we can perform. But in case of foreign data, I have mentioned ICE-GIT can be checked, foreign documentation and the customs assessment can also be taken care
of. So next question is, the company has gone into insolvency process. What are the various essays specifically to be considered in drafting the report?
So the company is already into insolvency. That means the going concern is and whenever there is a assumption the going concern has come to end, then you have to perform and draft an audit report in accordance with the SA 570 revised. So there will be a session further on standard auditing 570 revised. It's a special case. So all the wording and drafting has to be done in accordance with that standard auditing 570 revised, which will be separately dealt in another one of the VCM or something.
Sir, auditor's responsibility para contains obtain an understanding of internal control relevant to the audit in order to design and procedures that are appropriate in the circumstances. Under the section 143, subsection 1 of the Companies Act, we are also responsible for expressing our opinion on whether the company has adequate internal financial control system in place and the operating effectiveness of such control. Can this para be modified if IFC is not applicable?
In case it is, can you repeat the last line?
The member is asking, can this para be modified if internal financial control is not applicable?
See in case the internal financial controls are not applicable to the company, so you can squarely write off. But each and everything has to be written. There is a standard format. You have to write that. Like in case it is not applicable, but still you write that it is the responsibility of the management to make and implement and design the internal financial controls. So you have to draft that. You have to put that in the financial responsibility management's financial responsibility paragraph. And in the auditor's responsibility paragraph, the same things will also be mentioned. Be it is applicable or not, the format gives us a uniform format. कि भैया it is the responsibility of the management to perform the internal financial control. So not checking the specific applicability, but the wordings are in such a way, are very, very generic and general, that applies to all the entities. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, forming opinion while preparing the audit. Can you put some light on this in a gist?
So we have talked all about forming an opinion.
Yes.
We have talked
So
about
I was asking just a gist.
Just is I'm again explaining a gist. See, after performing a list of standards, so I do have the list of all the standards from asset 200 to 600 series. When you perform all the procedures, then it is important that you have to conclude. You have to conclude after performing all the procedures that whether the financial statements are free from material misstatements. If the answer is yes, you give a true and fair view and you give an unmodified opinion as per S700. In case you find that this is material but not pervasive, you give a qualified opinion. In case you find that financial statements are materially misstated at pervasive level, you give an adverse opinion. In case you are unable to obtain sufficient and appropriate evidence at pervasive level and material level, you give a adverse opinion. This is the gist, and this is how you form an opinion on the audit of the financial statements. I have explained the gist, sir. So the gist is you have to perform the audit and report the audit and forming an opinion as per the standard on auditing itself. Standard series very, very practical, and drafting has to be done in accordance with these standards only. You cannot even change the except for the subjective body.
Yes, sir. Sir, can two auditors have different sets of audit consideration while forming an opinion?
Yes, they can have a different consideration, but it's very subjective matter that, like, standards on auditing are very, very uniform, and we all have to perform. Like if an auditor A is performing an audit and he is finding that the financial statement are materially misstated, then auditor B also is supposed to find that how can there be a difference if all the financial statement valuations, assets, liabilities are wrongly valued, then how come auditor A differ from auditor B? If it is materially misstated, then both the auditors will speak it is adverse opinion. So ideally it should not be such a case, but in case of qualified opinion, auditors' materiality level, professional judgment, professional skepticism may differ from auditor to auditor. But if it is of such a significance, then it would also be the same in both the cases. In respect of very small amounts, there can be a difference, but audit considerations in while following the auditing standards should remain same at principally, but in respect of one or two things very immaterial, it can differ from auditor to auditor.
Yes. So is there any alternate way to report in the notes to accounts forming part of the annual balance sheet? Any other way?
Say notes to account is the responsibility of the management. We don't have to report in the notes to accounts. So the question here is wrong. We don't have to report in the notes to account. There cannot be any alternative. The alternative is the auditor's report itself, which we have covered in a detailed manner in this VCM.
Yes. So last question, is it required to retain confirmation letters, documents in support of qualified report?
Yes, as the 230 talks about audit documentation, it is very important that whatever procedures you are doing, be it compliance procedures, analytical procedures, substantive procedures, and nature, timing, and extent of the procedures, like you're checking everything. So you have to take a documentation of the same. How do you prove to your peer reviewer or to the NAFRA that you had checked that thing? The evidences will speak, the audit documentation will speak. It is very, very important to keep up the audit evidences, be it like sample, some of the, in case of exports, you can keep up the sample sets of the export documents, be it shipping bill, packing list, trading, everything, everything has to be documented so as to save your skin, and so as to base that on these basis I had given the opinion. So how will you prove? You will prove through audit documentation only. So very important.
Thank you so much, sir. Now we have come to an end, and it was wonderful to have you here on this 125th CP webinar, CP program organized by AASB of ICA. So, on behalf of Auditing and Assurance Standard Board of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, once again I wish to congratulate you, as well as wish to extend my warm thanks to you for acceding to our request and for your deliberation and enlighten all of us on various intricacies and consideration on various S700 series 701, 705, 706. Thank you so much, sir, once again for your gracious presence here. Thank you so much. Sir.
Thank you so much, and congratulations to all the team. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Namaste.